It's at this very second that I realized I did not put my headset on. I think I'm going to speak here. I think we'll be just fine. Isn't that funny? Happy New Year. Now, I want to give you some advice, which is when our musicians present something so beautiful, yes, applause is fine from my point of view. But mostly, I want to see your faces look as if you just were bathed in beauty. No grumpiness in the room, okay? Now, if you have profound sadness, that's okay. If you have grief that you're working on, that's okay. But for just this moment, to have heard what Christian presented for us, I hope that your spirit has been lifted. I hope there's a little smile on your face and a melody in your heart, okay? Good morning. And Happy New Year. I promise I was not castigating anyone in that moment. I'm just telling you, let's be here with each other. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation at Shelter Rock. My name is David Carl Olson. I serve this congregation in the care of our lead minister, Reverend Dr. Natalie Fenimore, and with our student minister, Brian Bauer. At this very moment, our associate minister, Reverend Megan Henry, is landing in Jordan, where she is leading a Unitarian Universalist ministers study tour of the West Bank. We wish her blessings on her journey. We are a leader-full congregation, including ministers, volunteers, and staff, and are governed by an elected board of trustees and officers. I want to welcome to our pulpit Trustee Larry Haas.
Thank you, Reverend. Good morning. Whether you're a visitor, a newcomer, or a long-term member of this congregation, you're welcome here. Wherever you may be in your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. For we are a community that uses science, reason, and an open heart to explore life's many mysteries. To learn more about this congregation and Unitarian Universalism, please visit the welcome desk in the lobby or see our website at UUCSR.org. The Board of Trustees invites you to the fuller life of this congregation. After the service, you're welcome to the social hall for our Sunday cafe. If you're a first or second time visitor, lunch is on us. A conversation and information session about our Meadows project and the procedures to be used in its implementation will take place in the social hall. Please look for the tables marked reserved in the back of the room if you'd like to take part in the conversation. And after lunch, please join the Art League of Nassau County in the art gallery for a reception centered around their exhibition entitled The Beauty of Long Island.
Thank you. Don't go too far, you got some more. On Friday, I'd like to invite you to our evening worship service, Soulful Sundown. We share a simple supper at 6:30 and then retire to this worship room for a service that I will lead at 7:30. We break for coffee and then return for a presentation by guest artist Antya Devakot. The Boston Globe says, her songs feel at once fresh-faced and firmly rooted, driven by the whispery sensuality of her voice. She believes in the redemptive power of the shared secret and is utterly unafraid to mine the darkest corners of her life for songs that turn fear into resilience and isolation into community. Amen. Please join us. The following Friday, please join Living a Public Life workshop. My workshop's on building public power through one-to-one relationships. We'll spend some time thinking about the differences between personal friendships and public relationships. We'll talk about what has shaped our personal perspectives and how we choose together to live our collective actions, and I hope we'll develop an ethos of mutuality.
Next Sunday, January 11th, Dr. Fenimore will lead us with the notion, what we can resist, we can welcome. After the service and the Sunday Cafe, please remain here for our January congregational meeting at 1 o'clock. At Shelter Rock, we aspire to be a religious community where we can grow spiritually and build a more just and joyful world. Please join us on the journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. The Christian neo-Orthodox theologian Karl Barth is often cited with the notion that one ought to preach with the Bible in one hand and the newspaper in the other. I believe that he was saying that the religious project needs to be rooted as much in the real world around us as in some abstractions that we may have learned, as true as those abstractions may be. My plans for our service today needed to change a little when our national leaders chose to invade another country and abduct its president, and then to declare that we would be running their country now. Today's service will not be limited by these actions, but I also don't want to ignore them. I do want to begin with a statement made by our Unitarian Universalist Association yesterday. The statement says, in part, that Unitarian Universalists believe that these actions violate our shared religious values, particularly of interdependence and pluralism, and principles which UUs have affirmed for themselves and for society. In a statement of conscience passed in 2010, Creating Peace, UUs proclaimed that all people share a moral responsibility to create peace. That statement also says that UUs repudiate aggressive and preventive wars, the disproportionate use of force, covert wars, and targeting that includes a high risk to civilians. We called for peacemaking efforts at all levels of human interaction. These actions by the Trump administration, the statement says, are precisely the kind of abuse of power by our military aggression that UUs have condemned throughout the denomination's history. That's all I'm saying from the statement. We need not have only one opinion about these actions, but it is up to us to live into the values that we profess, to develop these values and to share them in our work in the world, and to know, in the thought of UU theologian, the late James Luther Adams, that liberal religion holds the resources that are available for the achievement of meaningful change, which justifies an attitude of ultimate optimism. We are not to despair. And so when we gather, we remember that it was in the struggle to bring relief and freedom to those living under Nazi tyranny that the flaming chalice became our symbol. And when we light the chalice to mark our entrance into sacred time, at our various meetings and our study circles, our times of sharing, our collective worship, we remember that this is the fire of ultimate optimism. As Adam Slate writes, when the great mosaic of humanity is treated with respect and dignity, when no person is threatened by hunger or war, when we have extended hospitality to the stranger and tended to the sick, when equity and justice reign everywhere, then we shall all be free. We light this flame to hold the moment in our spirit and in our minds until we are able to make it real. Will you please join me, rising in body and spirit, to sing our opening hymn, All Beautiful the March of Days, number 57 in the gray hymnal, and the words will be projected on the screens. Take a deep breath. Let it out. Now, with a little smile on your face, not a big smile, just a half smile, take a deep breath. And let it out. Take a deep breath from earth to sky. That's how big our vision is. And let it out. And then, with joy, with pride, with anticipation of doing great things, let's say the promise that we make to ourselves and to each other with our words of affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need. This do we affirm and covenant with each other. And now for something a little different. It's a new year. We're going to do our song of affirmation, but to a different tune. We're going to do it to the tune of Tallis Canon, which, if you want to look in the gray hymnal, it's number 372. What we're going to hear now is the musicians are going to perform it for us first, and then they'll do a second time, and we'll join in, or third. I don't know. Thank you all. Please be seated. Marge Piercy is a Detroit-born poet, daughter of parents who were from two different religions, but highly influenced by her Orthodox Jewish grandmother and embracing Judaism throughout her life. A working-class activist, a staff member for the Students for Democratic Society back in the day, an anti-racist, and probably most notably a feminist. There are three of her poems that are in our hymnal: Connections Are Made Slowly, Counsels, and To Be of Use. But here is another of her poems, The Low Road. What can they do to you? Whatever they want. They can set you up, they can bust you, they can break your fingers, they can burn your brain with electricity, they can blur you with drugs till you can't walk, can't remember, they can take your child, wall up your lover. They can do anything you can't stop them from doing. How can you stop them? Alone, you can fight, you can refuse, you can take what revenge you can, but they will roll over you. But two people fighting back to back can cut through a mob. A snake-dancing file can break a cordon. An army can meet an army. Two people can keep each other sane, can give support, conviction, love, massage, hope, sex. 3 people are a delegation, a committee, a wedge. With 4, you can play bridge and start an organization. With 6, you can rent a whole house, eat pie for dinner with no seconds, and hold a fundraising party. 12 make a demonstration, 100 fill a hall, 1,000 have solidarity and your own newsletter, 10,000 power and your own paper, 100,000 your own media, 10 million a country. It goes on one at a time. It starts when you care to act. It starts when you do it again and they said no. It starts when you say we and know who you mean, and each day you mean one more. Marge Piercy shares that trouble is never far away, but to pay attention to where it might be and never allow it to prevent a joyous Sabbath. To share our joyous Sabbath at the start of a new year, let's sing a fun song to welcome the new year. I am going to invite you to stand, and you're going to learn something because I'm going to sing it to you and you're going to sing it right back to me. Is that okay? Okay? And then the choir is going to take us into delightful places. Da-da-da, is that right? Da-da-da. So I'm going to sing it to you, you sing it right back to me, all right? I think the words are up on the screen. It's very soon. Almost. There we are, thank you. So I'm going to sing one phrase to you, you're going to sing it right back to me. Got it? Ring it in, ring in the new year. That was beautiful. Bells are ringing, bells are ringing.
Bells are ringing, bells are ringing.
Peace and love throughout the new year.
Peace and love throughout the new year.
Joy, joy, joy. Now, what do I want to see on your face? Yes. Choir, we love you.
Joy,
Now ring some bells. Woohoo! Sit down. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Every week during worship, we share an opportunity toward living our Unitarian Universalist values in the world by acts of generosity to bring positive change. This Sunday, we are invited to support the World Central Kitchen to help use the power of food to nourish the world. World Central Kitchen is the first to the front lines, providing fresh meals in response to humanitarian, climate, and community crises. World Central Kitchen is in Jamaica now, providing emergency relief to communities impacted a few months ago by Hurricane Melissa. With over 500 million meals served globally, World Central Kitchen continues to bring relief, one plate at a time. Your donation today fuels this mission, helping World Central Kitchen reach more people faster when they need it most. You see ways to give on the screen and in your order of service. I invite you, please, to be generous. I invite you, please, to be generous. Thank you.
Truth is not so keen, because thou art not seen, although thy breath be rude. Hey-ho, sing hey-ho, unto the green honey. Most friendship is fading, most loving mere folly. Then hey-ho, the honey, this life is most jolly. Freeze, freeze the winter sky, the dust not by so nigh, as benefits forgot. As friend remembered not. Hey-ho, sing hey-ho, unto the green honey. Most friendship is fading, most loving mere folly. Then hey-ho, the honey, this life is most jolly. This life is most jolly.
One of the great thinkers of the 20th century, the American sociologist, historian, gatherer of truth, and organizer of resistance, William Edward Burghardt Du Bois, was celebrated in the Roosevelt Hotel on his 90th birthday with a grand banquet of hundreds of well-wishers. At that dinner, he addressed what he called the most important person in the room, his great-grandson, who had been born just a couple of months earlier. He said about his own life, "The thing which has been the secret of whatever I have done is the fact that I have been able to earn a living by doing the work which I wanted to do, and that work was what the world needed done." You'll have to tell me whether what I do is something the world needs, but I'm glad to report that I have been able to earn a living by doing the work I want to do. I sometimes say that I'm the luckiest minister in captivity. But then, when challenged, I admit that the purpose of my work is not captivity, but to encourage people's freedom. So even in jest, to talk about myself as in captivity may be a bad joke. Whatever. I feel fortunate to have this work to do. I was lucky to be encouraged into ministry by Reverend Dr. Jack Mendelson. He was serving as an interim minister in a congregation where I worked as a sexton. I was a custodian and fix-it guy who lived in an apartment upstairs. I consulted with Jack as I made inquiries into seminary, and Jack asked me what kind of minister I wanted to be. "You can be a movement minister," he said, "if you want. Plenty of our ministers are casual and activist and even effective. Stand on a street corner playing a guitar, singing to people on a picket line. Okay. But I always knew," Jack said, "I wanted to serve an urban church, a downtown church, where some of my parishioners would be community leaders, bankers, and attorneys. I knew I needed to learn to wear a suit so that I could meet with powerful people if I wanted to get the work done." After that conversation, I decided I needed to learn how to wear a suit. Jack encouraged me to learn congregation-based community organizing when I was in seminary, telling me the story of his own relationship with Saul Alinsky and his hope that an effective organization might be built in Boston. Greater Boston Interfaith Organization was the culmination of a dream that Jack had from the 1960s when he brought Alinsky to Boston to do a site visit. And Alinsky said, "Can't be done here." Alinsky's assessment of Boston, its culture of prestige, elitism, division among ethnicities, and silent and secret financial and political control, old money, not sure where it came from, Alinsky felt it was not possible to organize against. But by the 1990s, Alinsky's heirs, including Jim Drake, organizer of the United Farm Workers Grape and Lettuce Boycotts, and Lou Finfer, director of Organizing and Leadership Training Center, took up the charge and were successful. Jack encouraged me to make that successful organization, GBIO, a significant part of my ministry. And eventually I served as 3 years as GBIO's president. Jack's Being Liberal in an Illiberal Age is a book I almost always have near at hand. It's somewhere in my study here at Shelter Rock. I'm going to have to find it. I have heard Jack preach on the themes from this book while he was alive, and I savor its call for an understanding that life can be large and complicated and sweet and meaningful. And I always found him to be large and complicated and sweet, and believing that I might have a place in ministry, in a ministry that's meaningful. When Jack wrote my letter of introduction to the UUA Department of Ministry, he indicated that we would be taking a chance. The UUA and I would be taking a chance. He feared that I might find ministry too small, too confining for the interest that I have in culture and theater, in music, in politics. But he also saw a coherence between the kinds of community ritual I had been fortunate to be asked to co-create, and knew that my sense of the liturgical could be useful in the right congregational setting. So he encouraged us both, the Department of Ministry and me, take a chance, dare to dream, even risk occasional failure in the struggle to find the religiously liberal way through an illiberal world. I'm glad we took a chance. I'm glad we took a chance. I was brought to tears a number of times on Thursday, standing among tens of thousands of others on Broadway, watching the Jumbotron of the inauguration ceremonies for New York City Controller Mark Levine, Public Advocate Shamami Williams, and Mayor Zoran Mandami. The poetry of the day, both the inaugural poem of Cornelius Eady and the general poetic tenor of the day, touched me time and again, affirmed my sense of the possibilities of government which is self-government, spoke to my ultimate optimism. But the crowd, the thousands of volunteers expressing their confidence in each other and in the leadership that they helped to get elected. They knew that this wasn't happening because of someone else's resources, someone else's agenda. This moment of hope emerged because they had been involved in the millions of person-to-person contacts that they had made with people in their families, their neighborhoods, their beauty salons, their book clubs, their congregations. Hope emerged because of their lives and because of their relationships. I've been fortunate to have a career where relational organizing was valued. Now, it isn't hard in Unitarian Universalism to find issue organizing. We have long lists of issues that we'd like to address. But relational organizing is a different kind of thing, because the issue that relational organizing addresses is organizing itself, the issue of growing a network of relationships that will allow us together to exert power. Power which is simply the capacity to get things done, and the things that need doing are things that bring us together. They grow out of our shared values and allow us to make commitments, real commitments in this real world, to move from the world as it is toward the world our faith calls us to imagine, even calls us to construct. Seminary professor Tex Sample wrote in his holiday post on Facebook, "I published a book by Upper Room last May called Micro Practices for Justice Ministry, a write-up of my interviews with 42 clergy recommended to me as being very effective in justice ministry. I was wonderfully touched by this diverse group of clergy. I'm not sure I ever enjoyed writing any book as much as I did that one." I will say, as one of the people interviewed for that book, I don't think I've ever enjoyed being interviewed as much as I did that one. There is a phrase that Tex wrote about our time together that my ministry created an ethos of mutuality. Now, you'll have to buy the book in our bookstore and read it to get a fuller picture. But for me, our project in this congregation is creating a bigger we, where we learn to step up and we learn sometimes to step back. A time where we learn to lead and times where we learn to turn it over to someone else. A time where we learn to welcome the newcomer and to fully include that newcomer in the new dreams that emerge, dreams that we don't have yet, but dreams that emerge with the new we when someone new is part of the mix. in a relational organizing ethos of mutuality. We learn that the task of building the we is not the task of a single person or a single office, like a minister or a member of the board. It's not the task of a department, like the membership committee. And it's not the task of someone else. It's the task of all of us. It's the task of all of us. I'd love you to join me on the third Friday of the month to explore with me how we live a public life together, how we take responsibility with each other to know each other, to know our varied interests, to understand our shared commitments, even our dreams of what this congregation might be, and of what each of us can be here. I hope you'll join me in building the bigger we. It starts with our simple commitments of meeting with one another, listening to one another, telling our stories as a way of making connections, a way of building unity with one another, a way of building public power. You remember what Marge Piercy says. 12 make a demonstration, 100 fill a hall, 1,000 have solidarity in your own newsletter, 10,000 your own media, 10 million your own country. It goes on one at a time. It starts when you care to act. It starts when you do it again, and they said no. It starts when you say we, and you know who you mean, and each day you mean one more. May it ever be. Blessed be. Ashe, ashe. Peace, salam, shalom. I love you. Amen. And so I invite you, as you come to the candle box, think of the people who have invited you in to become a we. Remember them, honor them, respect them, and think of the ones it is your turn to invite. Commit to them, imagine with them, share your desire to create with them. Our values require a stronger we to help move from the world as it is to the place our values call us to be. We'll take a few moments in silence to light candles, and in a bit we'll sing hymn Gray 359, When We Are Gathered. Please come forward. Stay seated. Number 359. So please keep breathing. When I say that, I'm reminding myself. Allow the spirit of this day to center itself in your body. The commitments you made when you lit these candles or remembered those who invited you in. Let them inhabit fully your heart, mind. I hope that some element of this time together has given you a chance to leave behind something that you really don't need to be paying attention to. And as you leave this space, I hope you think twice before you pick it up again. There may be things in our life that are not the most important, and maybe they can take care of themselves for a little while we can ponder what's most important, what most needs attention, and what most will allow us to be in communion with other people. That together, based not on just an agreement about a list of issues, but in a deeply human way, to know that none of us is free until all of us are free, and that we are all in this together. As an emblem of that, I'm going to ask you to take someone's hand, if you can, and to just accept the little, there's a little heartbeat that's going on in the palm of your hand. And when you put your hand into someone else's hand, let your heartbeat mingle with their heartbeat for just a second. Just a second. And may we each and all be blessed by the heartbeat that we share, by the heartbeat of this room, by the heartbeat of our aspirations, by the heartbeat of the world. With such blessing, may we then be bold to go out into the larger world, wringing out false pride in place and blood, the civic slander and the spite, but let's ring in the love of truth and right, ring in the love of common good. Will you stand in body and spirit and please sing with me hymn number 58, Ring Out Wild Bells to the Wild, Wild Sky, and sing it like you're a bunch of loud bells. How's that? Please be seated.